Hi guys, this point of sale system developed using Visual Basic.net. So let me show you guys how it works. If you select any of these and that enables the checkbox, and you can just enter the price there, but if you don't, that goes off just like you've seen now. Enable, enter how many amounts you want in there. Okay, let's go for letters and maybe go for the smoked fish, whiskey. Let's go 4 of those and get drunk. What about gin? Another 4. Rum. Okay, then let's go for 4 as well. We just want to get drunk tonight. Alright, so all you just need to do now is click on total there. You see that, guys? And you can always reset and start all over for the next customer. Let's go for bacon and click on total. So with that, guys, what I'll do now is take you guys straight into Visual Basic.net development environment, and we'll put one of these together. So let's do that now, guys. Hi and welcome to Visual Basic.net point of sales system. So I'm going to start by clicking on new project. And let's select Visual Basic, select Windows Forms application. I'm going to call it VB underscore point of sale and click on OK. Now that my form is ready, I'm going to define the size of this form. Let's go for 1368 by 700 and we'll take it from there. So that's the form ready to be used. So the next thing is to go straight to the tools right there. Let's select Windows Forms application and I'm gonna need, let's go for group box. Let's paste one of those right here, up here. Just take it down, so about that, and drag it right down. And I would need another group box. Let's copy that and drag it that much. Yeah. Okay, now that that is ready, I'm going to need some items in here. So let's get some buttons in place. We need the button right in here, really. There. So I'm going to need a couple of those, maybe 2 each. And we increase the font size of those buttons. Let's make that bold, about 12. Just drag it that much, and I'll just copy them across really. So those buttons will actually represent items that we are selling. So we have a couple of those there. Let's see how it looks like. Okay, drag that down. I think that should do, because any mod that requires a lot of codes, maybe 2 more, 2 rows more. Yeah, which means there's going to be a lot of codes involved. And right up here, let's get a label there and just call that category. Yeah, and we need to increase the font size. No, that's the wrong place. Cut that off. I need it in text area right there. And the font size, let's increase that to about 14. Maybe move it somewhere there. Okay, get it centered. Now these buttons should represent different items that are supposed to be in the store. So let's go for maybe BTN item 1. Okay, BTN item 1, what do we sell there? So let's make that up. Okay, maybe we'll call that apple. Might as well change this to BTN apple. Yeah, there. That is the very first one. And maybe here, let's go for BTN orange. All of these items are in bags. So we'll come right down here, change that to orange. Okay, so let's speed that up. Okay, this is how the system looks for now. So the next thing I would do is let's add the following. I'm going to get a checkbox in here and a text box as well right there. So let's align it properly. And this checkbox and text box, let's increase the font size to exactly the same size with this. That the property, let's get the property back. That's it, the properties, and that's supposed to be 12. So come in here and just change this, change the font size to 12 and make that bold as well. Okay, there, and there we go. So something like that. Or maybe let's just cut that off. Let's add a group box. Add another group box. Yeah, and maybe another one. Just copy this across. We can always make up our mind as we go along. So paste that in there. There's a group box here. Alright, so this very one now, let's name this. We're going to name that apple, and there should be another one, another set here. So that will be for the meatballs. Okay, just anything that will make life easy for your sales assistants, that will be much better. Okay, now this will be the apple. Yeah, apple there. Okay, and here that's supposed to be, so let's give that a name. I'm gonna call that CHK apple, and here I'm gonna call it TXT apple right there. And the next one, that's going to be meatballs. That'll be CHK meatball. And the content in there, that'll just be meatballs. Let's add a space and get rid of this there. And this, the text box in this case, that will be TXT meatballs right there. Okay, now I presume you guys get the whole idea. So all I'm just going to do now is copy this across. So just copy this. I think maybe, yeah, just copy it across. just repeat the same thing for the next one. Then we just need to give it a name. So what will happen is when your customer or when the sales assistant click on any of the product that you want or any of the item you want, you can always enter numbers and so on in there. Alright, so let's do that again. Right. Okay, so I will speed that up so that we need 2 more actually. And bring it down. Okay, that is that, and let's run it first before any other thing, then we can then change the names. Okay, this is how the point of sale system is looking right now. So what will happen is you select an apple and this will be enabled, then you can always enter how many items you want in there. If you select the meatballs, the same thing will apply and so on. Okay, see, I was able to enter that in there. That is wrong. We'll be taking care of those as we go along. All right, now I'm just gonna speed up the namings, then I'll come back to you guys. Close that. Just come in here and change the names. So that's supposed to be orange. That's CHK orange. And the text content in it, that'll be orange. Right. And this is TXT orange. There, you get the whole idea now, so I'm just going to speed that up. Okay, now the interface is ready, so all I need to do now is to add a couple of text boxes here, or maybe labels actually, just to output the total and so on, and that'll be all. And here maybe a title. Okay, let's do that now. Alright, let's come in here. I'm going to have to add a list box or maybe a label. Let's add a label. Let's look for one label here. So this very label, we just call that, or maybe get rid of that and just copy this one, copy it across, and let's change the data in there. Let's change that to point of sale. Okay, we just call it point of sale system. Alright, that's fine. Okay, what is left for me to do now is let's try and finish up the development of the interface. Maybe move this here somewhere. Let's come in here and drag it from here. Yeah, and let's take it down. And I'm going to need maybe 3 more buttons there. I can just copy one of these anyway. Click and drag across. So 1, 2, and 3. So those are all my buttons. So there's something about that. So let's give them all a name, then we can then start with writing out a couple of lines of codes. That's exit. So if that is exit, now let's call the text exit, then let's call this one reset. Just call that BTN reset. Now this one should give me the total, BTN total. Yeah, has to do with the amount of items selected. Okay, that's fine. Now for the exit, let's double click on the exit and enter the following. Let's say dim I exit as integer. No, as dialog. Let's make that dialog right there. Okay, I guess you guys can see the code. Let's increase the font. Yeah, font right there. Let's make that maybe 12. I think 12 would be, yeah, that's a little bit all right. Okay, now I exit equals message box dot show, and let's say confirm if you want to exit. Alright, that's that done, and let's enter the name of the system here, and the system is point of sale right there, and comma, let's enter message box button, that will be dot yes or no, another comma, then let's enter message box, that's for the icon itself, so the icon can be yes, no, other information. Let's say the icon is asterisk error exclamation hand information question none. Okay, I'm gonna go for question because I just want to confirm if you want to exit. So now let's use an if statement or conditional statement. If I exit equals dialog result.yes, then exit the system. That's what we want it to do. Application.exit. There, that is taken care of. So have a good look at it. That's how it's much better because it's more user friendly. Sort of like prompt your user to confirm if they really want to exit the system. So let me run it. You see that? Okay, if I click on exit, check that out. No, supposing I say yes, there, that's it, it's gone. So it's quite good, it's user friendly. So the next thing I want to do is see all of these buttons. I think I would like you to kind of like give me a rollover of different color when it's selected. So I've selected all of these buttons. I will now come into the property. You see right here, okay, can you see that? That is the events. Click on the events, and I'm going to go for, let's go for mouse enter right there. So with the mouse enter, let me just call that change color, change underscore color. Yep, that's a British spelling, so suppose you guys understand that then. So let me enter, click on enter, and right there. So all I just need to do is let's declare, I'm going to declare a button. Now let me just call that Q button. Yeah, Q button, that's fine. As button. Okay, so Q button as button. So we now use a sender as equals sender. Now let's go for Q button then. Q button dot back color equals color. Let's go for light, let's say light blue, light steel blue. I think light steel blue is much better. Yeah, there we go, right there. So if I run it now, so if I move my mouse on any of the buttons, you can see the light still blue. Okay, but now we now need mouse leave. Right, let's go back in there, and I'm just gonna copy all of this. Let's copy that. Now we also need to select all of these buttons for mouse leaves. When the mouse leaves, we want it to go back to the original color, which is, I think, is known as control. Right, select these ones as well. Now come to the properties, select events, and let's look for mouse leave events right here. Mouse leave events. So I'm going to say change underscore control. That's fine. Right, press enter, and right there I'm going to paste that, but this time around is different. So it's going to be color dot from. So we'll try that again. Dot from known color. So I'm now going to enter it in a bracket. Let's say known color. Let's get rid of that. Dot control. Yeah, there we go. So that is it. Okay, have a look at the lines of codes. It's just this one. Alright, but you must declare a variable with a sender to take care of all of the information you need. So if I run it now and mouse enter, mouse leaves, mouse enter, mouse leave. Okay, look at that. Okay, so that is fine. Oh, these two, let's get their names and get them sorted. So we get the names of those two. I think, okay, I left them out mistakenly. There they are. So what's the name of that? Okay, I can always copy this one anyway. Let's come in here. There we go. So the names of that is, that very one is called, let's get it right here. Alright, there we go. Copy that. Now come right inside the codes and get that sorted. That is it. Mouse leaves. And paste. Then dot mouse leaves. Yeah, that's fine. Then the second one is, let's look for the second one. ROM. I think that is btn ROM. Yeah. Copy that. Come right in here. Comma. Paste. Dot mouse leaves. There. Okay, that very error is taken care of now. That's good. So if we run it, now try that out. You see that, guys? Alright, that's fine. Okay, the other thing we need to be wary of is, you see this text box, they are meant to just accept numbers, not characters. So we need to also just take care of those ones now, so that will prevent the end user from entering anything but numbers. Okay, so the sales assistant will not have any excuse, so let's select it all as well. Select it all, that's fine. Hold down the control, select the other one. There. Okay, let's make sure it's all selected. That is fine. So the next thing is, let's go to the event area as well, and this time around we need to use key press, this very one there. So let's say numbers only underscore. only. Press enter. So on key press, let's use ASCII. If ASCII e dot key char, this very one. Okay, if is not equals to 8, press enter. Then we want the ASCII. If the ASCII happens to be less than 48 or ASCII greater than 57, then we want e.handler equals true. So let's make that true. No. There. So with these lines of codes here, we should be able to prevent the user from entering characters or strings. So let's run that and see how that works. Okay, so let's see if we can enter character in there. I don't think so. That's fine, but let me show it to you with the visual keyboard. Okay, we have the visual keyboard, so let's click anywhere here and try to enter characters. No, nothing is happening, but we can enter numbers. So let's try this out too. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, so let's close this and just finish up the development of this interface. So I would then speed that up. And right here, guys, I now have the following. I have 3 text box here and labels. All of those I've copied them from here. Copied that from this category and copied this as well. So let's change these ones. Let's change that to tags, and the name will be, yeah, that's fine for that. I don't need to change that. And here I'm going to change this to subtotal, and this will be total. Right. And all of these here, let's change the details. Let's change that to txt tags, and okay, instead of text box, maybe we should delete that and just use, let's delete all of these, then we use labels as well. Copy all of these labels, let's copy it across, and we can then format it. Come to auto size, make that false. Border style right here, let's make that maybe fix 3D, and control, let's make that back color, let's make it white and just drag it down much. Alright, there. So let's change their names individually. That is too much, undo that. Maybe just change that here. Maybe we'll go for 30 then. Alright, that's fine. So in here, we change each individual. So this one is going to be LBL tags, and get rid of the text content. The other one is cut that off, LBL subtotal. And finally, that's LBL total. Right. Now, this bottom one, that is rich text box. So we're going to use that for our receipt. RTB receipt. Okay, that's my receipt there. So all of that is ready now. Okay, that's fine. Yeah. So let's change this. Let's get rid of those content in there. There, that's gone. And we get rid of these other ones up here. Okay, now what I want to do is to be able to click on this clear button. So whatever data I have in here, I should be able to clear it, and maybe at the same time we should be able to reset these very buttons. Okay, so we can't do that, so let's go straight into the codes. And right here where we have btn reset, so what I need is, you see all of these lines of codes. Unfortunately you guys can't see it. Maybe I should just break it into, yeah, why not, let's break it so that you guys can see all of the codes. That is for text only, so let's take it down, press enter. So I'm going to copy that anyway, just modify it. There we go. So you can see that that's for text only. All right, the next one, that is to change the color mouse leaf for the buttons. So bring that down as well so that you can see all of the codes. There, those are the lines of code for mouse leaf. All of this is just a component. So let's do the same thing for this one. And there we go. There, that's done. I think that's all there is to it. Okay, now you see these very ones here. I'm going to copy all of these. That's for the text box. I'm going to copy them all, and right in here you see where we have btn reset, right here, btn reset. I'm going to use the following for each. Let's go for, I'll just call it T, and let's assign an array there. So the first one is meant to be this very one here. So that is supposed to, let's copy that as txt wine, comma, followed by txt vodka, paste, comma, and followed by txt tomatoes. All right, let's paste that in there. So for those three, and all I just need to say is t dot clear, and that's it. So if I show you what's going to happen with this, let's run it just with those three. We need vodka, tomatoes, and wine. So let's see, vodka, enter anything in there, tomatoes, then the wine right there. So if I click on this, there, you see how easy that is. So what I will do is just copy the rest of them and just speed it all up, and I'll get back to you guys. Alright, right here guys, you see how the lines of codes look like. Let's play around with this and see. Okay, just to prove that it works, just for you guys to know that it works, let's now click there. That's fine. Now what about these ones? I forgot to add those ones. Okay, in the case of those ones are no big deal. So let's just enter LDL subtotal dot text equals clear. Then we have that of tax as well. That is, this one will be for total, then LBL, and just paste that. So that is fine. Okay, we've done that of text box, labels. Now what about these ones? Let's check out the names for those ones. We need the names. Okay, right click, we need the property. Okay, that's the name, Apple. Let's copy that. So we may have to, I'm going to speed that up anyway. Come right in here. Let's repeat the same thing for each. For each R in, comma, and we just want it R dot reset. Okay, let's come here and say next. And this one is supposed to be checked equals false. Okay, let's take this off. Now this is supposed to be an array, right? Okay, so let's find out the other one. Okay, I think it's going to work. Let's see what's the name of the other one. We have orange. Orange. Copy that, come in here, paste that in there, enter a comma and put an orange there. Okay, so that's fine. So let's try out these two anyway. Run and select both, enter whatever in here. Okay, reset. Yeah, that's fine. So I'm just gonna speed that up and get back to you guys. Okay, that is ready now for the radio buttons. Okay, I represent the radio button with an R. Okay, and that's, we have a text box in here, txt, to represent that as well. So maybe I should just call this rad. Let's enter rad in here as well. Okay, so radio button represent all of the radio buttons, rad represent all of the radio buttons, and text represent all of the radio buttons. In the case of the label, so we just that's not a lot, so we just use just play it. That's fine. Okay, if I run it now, let's run it. You guys can see how that works. So select any of those. So we can just click there. That's fine. So that's working how we want. Okay, now one thing, you see all of this, let's get all of the text in there, let's get it centered and maybe enter 0 into them anyway, and repeat the same thing for these ones. And let's come right in here, and the text value, make that 0 and get it centered right there. That's fine for all of them. And here, let's copy one of these and just paste it there. Right, so maybe we enter let's just say we can just call that maybe item purchased. Okay, and receipt, or maybe value of items, or cost of items, and receipt. Yeah, so that's fine. Okay, the second step is let's use the form load to disable all of these, the text box and the checkbox. So double click on that, and here these ones are now very handy. Let me copy all of these and bring them down into form load, paste them in there. I don't need this, and right here for all the text I'm just gonna enter .enable equals false. There, that takes care of that. I think we can repeat the same thing for rad .enable equals false. There. So when the form load, let's see what's going to happen. Right there, you see all of these are now disabled. Okay, so the only thing that should be able to enable them would be just these labels. Okay, now we put together some line of code to enable this radio buttons. Okay, so let's come in here, let's double click on this very one here, and we can always say RB. I think it's RB. No, the checkbox that I call it. It is a checkbox. CHKR radio, CHK Apple here .enable equals true. Alright, that is for the Apple. Okay, which means when I run it and click on that, that enables this. Okay, let's see, but this did not disable that. Enable. Okay, one day. Now we know. Okay, let's double click on the meatballs and just say CHK meatballs .enable equals true. Okay, let's see, this one did not. When we click on that, that should, yeah. Okay, it has to be all. Okay, so that's different. So let's come back in here. We can also say enable, yeah, .enable equals false. Okay, let's see. Click enable. Yep, that is correct. Works how I want. Alright, that is fine. Now the next thing we want to do is we just need to speed it up because it's all the same lines of code in there, and this is tomato, so in the case of that we just need C CHK tomato. Let's get the T in there and paste and do that. Let's copy this. Let's paste it there. Okay, we need to paste that as well here. Yeah, so that is fine. So all we just need to do is speed this all up. That is for CHKs. The ham, smoked ham there. So let's run it. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, we need to check these two out. All right, so we're going to speed that up now. Okay, it's way down here. We're gonna speed this up. So let's go for the orange first. CHK orange. Is there anything here? There we go. There. CHK meat. Right. So now that we get the hang of it, I'm going to just speed that up. And I'll get back to you guys. Yeah. Okay, we've completed the coding of all of these. So as you can see, the buttons can now enable all of the checkbox. So that is fine. So the customer can just select any, or the sales assistant can select any of the item that the customer would like to purchase. All right, and we can also reset it, but if you notice we have zeros in here. When we reset, all the zeros are gone. So let's take care of that while I show you guys the present codes. So in here, instead of .clear, I'm just going to change that to zeros. So it won't be clear anymore. There'll be zeros right in each of those text boxes. All right, that is that taken care of on the reset button here. Okay, the rest of the codes right here, that is how it's done so far. So it's just the checkbox enable equals true. So the next thing we need to do now is to come in here. Let's run it and make sure these zeros are back. So we check all of these. There, the zeros are there. That's fine. Okay, now on each text box, I'll double click on this very first one. So let that enable. Let it enable the text box. Okay, let's say txt apple dot enable equals true. That is fine. So that we enable that, and at the same time we would like txt apple dot text equals, let's say, clears it, and txt apple dot focus, so that you enter a value in there. Good. Okay, let's just run it so that you see what that's meant to do. If you click on this and enable the apple, then you can enter the how many apples you would like to purchase, or the customer would like to purchase in there. Okay, so that is fine. But supposing you did not enter anything in there, and you move on to the next one, then we expect this to do something. So let's go back in here. This very text box, let's double click on it, and let's say if this, oh, let's use an if this the text equals nothing, then, and let's go for and chk apple dot enable, then txt, let's grab all of this, change that back to 0, and enable equals false. So if there's nothing in there, that's what we want the system to do. Alright, I think maybe let's get rid of this first. Let's try it out with this other one, because that will give us an error really. Okay, let's run it and see. Come in here, click there. Alright, this is not, this should get rid of this. Let's go back, double click on this, and I enable clear it. Okay, once it's cleared, the focus should be in there. Let's see that again. Okay, all right, I think it actually highlights we should enter something in there. Okay, what about we enter a value and there? No, that's not what I want. If I uncheck, I want this. Okay, I think I'm doing something wrong. Oh, let's change the whole program. Let's use an if statement to validate what's going on. If apple dot checked equals true, then we want the following to happen. All of those should happen. And if, okay, but if is, I'm going to use double ifs. If it's false, then this one becomes false and this becomes 0. Why this? There's nothing in there. Okay, so let's come back in here and see. So if I enable check there, uncheck, check, and uncheck, but I want the content in there gone. So what I would do is come back in here. I need to change this around. Let's come in here, just copy these ones. Let's paste this in here. If this does check equals true, the content in here disappears, and we actually want it to. We don't need this because we already have it up there. So let's see what's going to happen. Okay, right, but if it's unchecked, checked, and unchecked, do we even need these lines of codes at all? Let's call it off and see. because I don't think we need it at all. Check. Okay, that's fine. We don't need it at all, but we can always modify it later on. Supposing is empty and we click on another button, we expect this to react. So we'll come back there and take care of that. Now let's just copy all of this and use it for the others. So come right in here, double click on orange, paste, and everything in here becomes orange. So checkbox is orange, text box is orange there. So that's what I will have to do for all of the checkboxes. I suppose you guys now get the idea, and I'll just speed it all up. Okay, so let's run that. You see what will happen. Yeah, you can enter value in there. Orange, check. You can enter orange in there. Okay, that's fine. So let's speed that up. Let's check this there. Speed it up. All right, we've completed the codes. Okay, for all of the checkbox. Have a good look at it. That is for the meatballs. It's the same lines of code for the meat itself, the bacon, ham, the fish, and the other fish that's supposed to be smoked fish. Yeah, the same lines of codes anyway. There. That is it, fellas. Okay, the next thing I want to do is, supposing when we run the program, I click on Apple, select that, and the sales assistant mistakenly left that empty and move on to the next one, and to the next one, and to the next one. We expect the system to do something about it. Okay, let's do something about this error here, because the system should leave it blank. So let's exit and come right in here. I'm going to select all of these group box, select it all, and the form itself. Now let's come in here and let's use mouse over. Let's come down in here, maybe. Okay, the nearest is mouse over right there. So maybe we can give it a name, or we can just, yeah, let's give it a name. Enter underscore value, or enter 0. Yeah, so double click on it right there, enter 0, and all of those mouse over is there. One, you can see them, 1 2 3 4. That's fine. What about my, okay, I cannot see this in there. I'm just gonna copy this. That's for the form itself, and right here, comma, enter the form. That was the form. Okay, you can, I suppose you can see all of that events that I'm using for all of those objects. The next thing I want to do, since I've already written out the code, I'm going to come in here, double click on my reset. You see these very lines of code is got to do with all of the text box, so I'm going to copy that and scroll right down, go to my enter 0 event right here, paste that in here. So here I will then use an if statement. If txt dot text equals empty, then I want it to default back to 0, then end if there. So what will happen is when you run the program and leave any of those text box empty without anything, it will default back to 0. Okay, so let's see. Alright, let's give that a try and see. So let's run it now. Come in here. And you select an apple. Let's say you enter a value in there. Orange, check, nothing. Nothing as well. You see that has defaulted back to 0, but the text box hasn't changed to enable, is still on. Okay, so let's come back in there and right here I say txt dot enable equals false there. So that should take care of that. So if I run it now, I'll repeat the same thing. Enter a value there. Select anything here. Nothing entered. And we enter something here. You see that has defaulted back to 0. Okay, but this one need to go back to unchecked. So, but we can always do that here somewhere. Okay, I think we should take care of that error that I showed to you guys. You see that this will go back to 0, but this one still checked. The same thing applies to any of them here. Okay, so that's not good enough. Let's take care of that. We come to, let's double click on this and write in there if, let's say if txt apple.text equals, let's say there's something in there. Oh, we can check the very first one then. Okay, that's, let's say chk apple dot checked equals true, and okay, then we say we want this to become unchecked. Okay, chk apple dot checked equals false, and also let's disable it. So if you need it, you go back and reactivate it with the button. So dot enable equals false as well. Okay, that should take care of that. So let's try that out, then we can speed it up. Click this, select this, and nothing is done. Come in here, select that, and we enter a value in there. You see that, guys, it automatically changes to what it was. So let's do that again. Okay, let's come back, click, and nothing happened. See that defaulted back. So that is fine. So what I'll do is just speed that up and get back to you guys. Okay, I've completed all of the codes. Note the event that was used, that is text change. So hopefully that should default everything back to what is meant to be, and those are the lines of codes. It's all the same lines of codes anyway on the text box itself. That works in conjunction with the event that was written that default everything back to 0. Works with this. Okay, so let's run it and you guys see what I'm talking about. Right there, if you click on that and select this, enter a value there. Let's say you click on that and select that no value. You see that it defaulted back to 0 and everything becomes, or the checkbox becomes grayed out. And the same thing here, nothing, RAM, enter a value. Let's enter an amount there. Bean sprouts, apple. Okay, so you can then click and enter your total for all of these. So to do that, we have to write some lines of code. We might as well take care of this total and call it the end of the program. So I'm going to close that. The first thing I want to do is let's go right up there and declare a couple of global variables right underneath here. I'm going to declare as follows. Alright, so we have I tax, subtotal, total. Those are my global variable, and this very array here, this is an array. I have 28 of those. Maybe I should just make that 20. Let's make that 29 or 30 even. Let's go for 30. I know for the component right here, we have 28 of those. Okay, so let's come right in here. I'm going to copy that. So let's come into total, double click on total. So array number 0 right there equals, maybe we should go as far. So let's say convert dot to decimal right there. So that's going to be txt apple, this very one, dot, let's say dot text, right? That is the very first one. Well, let's see, we actually need to give this apple, we need to give it a price. Okay, for the price, let's say the price of these apples maybe 1.5. So that's the price for the apple. Now let's try it out and see if that's going to work. So let's select any of these. Dot text equals all of these right here. Paste that in there and let's run it and see what's going to happen. We have 28 of those to do. So let's say apple and enter. Let's go for 4 of those. Click on that right there, guys. So that is correct. 4 multiplied by 1.5 is 6. That is good. Okay, so that one is working. We might as well just try this out. Try it again. Come right here. That'll be our subtotal. Dot text equals format currency. Okay, so let's come down here and just get that formatted. Let's grab this and paste that in there. So hopefully that should take care of the pound sign. Now try that again, and there. Okay, that's brilliant. So that is taken care of. We're going to repeat the same thing for the total, and this would be for, let's go for, that is my tax, and this would be for my total. Okay, now that we have that, let's copy this and we need 28 of those. so we have to change the price of each item. Alright, we have 14 in total here. I'm just going to copy all of that, paste that. Let's do it again, copy and paste it right underneath here. Altogether is 28. So this, the next one is, I think it's orange. Let's see, we have an orange there. Okay, let's change this one to orange. There. So the price of the orange, let's say the orange is about 87p, and that is fine. This will be 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, all of the arrays have now been assigned each of the items. So all I just need to do is maybe change the price for each item. Okay, let's say tomatoes about £2, and mushroom, maybe we'll make that. What about bean sprouts? Maybe 99p, and so on. So I'll just change the price of everything. Lettuce might be about 0.75. Okay, so that's what is left to do, just to enter the price. But before that, before I finish entering the price, let's look for enter the price of everything. Now I'm now going to create another array here, or enter 28, and that will be 29. So in here we'll enter the price of everything. So that will be 0. Let's go for 0 plus. So maybe take this off and just so that I can use that to speed it up. That's 2, that's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I can just enter the numbers in there before I start adding it up. That's 2 here, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, let's see, we have 7 there. Alright, so let's repeat the same thing for this one, or maybe just take that 7 off so that you guys can see it. So this one is going to be that's going to be another one here. That's 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I think we're going to need just one more. Get rid of that. So that will be 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 here. We have 12 here, 13. Okay, how to speed up the calculation. This is how it looks now. You can have a good look at it right there. Okay, and the other thing that I've done is I've added the price for each item. Okay, then here I now have all of these values here, all of this price here. I've added them up here individually. I had to divide it all. Okay, you can choose to do it this way, or you just add a plus sign at the end, which I will then add up here. Right there, I can always add it all up. Let's go for item. the item 32 equals item 28 plus item 29 plus item 30. So that's 28 here, 29, we have 30 here. Okay, so item 32 will now be assigned here. Now, what I'm going to do next is, before I continue with all of these below, I now want to work out the tax. So let's come in here and declare a constant MC tax underscore rate equals, let's go for 0.5. That's my tax rate there. So make sure you remember these. Let's come right down here. Or before then, you can see I've also increased this to 33. That's the array. So let's come right down to the tax, to the total right there. Okay, what I will do before I continue is, right below here, I want to create a private function, and that very function will be used for the calculation. It will be used for the calculation of my tax. Okay, let's come here. Let's say by value, say C account as, maybe we'll make that decimal. And right out here, let's say as decimal. Okay, so now let's work that out. C find tax equals C account minus, let's say C account, let's multiply that by MC tax rate there. So that's the function for my tax. So what will happen is, the tax is 0.75, multiply that by C account here. So now what I'll do then is then call this let's change that to find tax. Alright, that's fine. So I'm going to call that here. So let's do that now. Okay, what I will do now for the tax is, let's come in here. I'm going to use iTax that was declared right up there as one of the global variables equals, let's get this C find tax, paste that in there, and I will now get this array here, this very one, paste it right in here, there. Okay, so that will give me the tax. I will copy the tax itself. Let's copy that and paste it inside tax. So this very tax as well will come right in here. So let's say tax plus this very one. Hopefully that should give me the plus. And for the subtotal, I'm going to put item cost 32, array 32 there. Okay guys, so what we need to do is, let's run it and see. So this is lines of code for the total from up there down here. Okay, let's run it and just see. file run, just select anything here and enter the item there that is selected. Let's do maybe one more. Whiskey, need 2 of those. Current, 2 as well. Click on total, and that is it. You can see the tax, and you can see the subtotal, and there. Okay, so what I will do now is to automatically generate the receipts. So let's do that now. So for the receipts, we need to put that right underneath here. So let's say rt the receipt dot append. I think we should enter some stuff in there to make it look like a proper receipt. Let's come in here. Okay, let's give it a name. So I'm just gonna call it iFood on here. I like to get it centered really. That's a VB tab plus. Okay, let's enter another tab there. Yep, and another one and another one. Okay, so which means we should be able to get it centered. So if I run it, let's run it and see. And click there. It's a little bit centered, that's fine. Okay, with the iFood, now let's get the others. Let's say we enter something like let's give it an address. Say the address of this iFood store is, let's go for 92 96. Let's go for high street. Oshodi. No, I think that's wrong. Oshodi, Lagos. Yeah, something like that. So that's the address of the business. Okay, maybe we get this. All right, let's come down in here. Undo that, just copy it across again. There, and get rid of all of these, or copy all of this from here and paste it right here. Yeah, and get rid of that. Now paste this here as well. There. So that should get almost everything centered. Now, so let's get rid of all of these, and here we add maybe just one tab. There. So that's for the address. Let's run that and see how it will look like. Okay, it's not all right. Okay, right here, let's say plus VB new line. Yeah, there we were meant to enter new line. Repeat the same thing here and here and here, then save and run. Okay, all right, but this one needs to be centered, so that means we need 1 or 2 more tabs there. Okay, we need 2 more tabs. Undo that. We only need tabs. All right. Okay, something like that. That's much better. Okay, exit. So let's enter these 3 items. So just those 3, and that will do it. And we can just call it the end of this program. Copy that. Okay, so we need 1 off. We don't need it all. Alright, let's just take care of that first. Now, first thing first, let's enter this subtotal. So let's say subtotal here. Really, we don't need it to be centered. Subtotal, and here, well, that's the subtotal. Paste that in there. Plus this. That's for subtotal, and we need one for total. Maybe copy, paste, paste. So let's change this one to tax, really. Tax and tax here. Subtotal, then here will be total. Right. And maybe here, let's enter some lines here. Okay. Right, that's fine. So maybe finally we can just enter something like thank you. Thank you for shopping at iFood. There. We don't need this. Alright, that's fine. There. So let's run it and see how the receipt, everything will look like. So run. Let's enter, let's select 1 or 2 items there. Oh, meant to enter some values. Okay, total, subtotal. Okay, this is too much. Let's get rid of this. Get rid of some of it. And here, undo that. And get rid of this as well. Yeah. Okay, that should do it. Let's get some vodka. There. Okay, that looks much better. So let's copy this line, this very line. Maybe add 3 more, 1, 2, 3, and bring those line, or that very line. Let's bring it right here. Yeah, and that will be all. So guys, I suppose you enjoyed this tutorial. It's been a very long tutorial. It's a tutorial that I would recommend for a university project, you can always improve on it and make it look much better. But guess what? For those of you who are university students, this is a very good tutorial to be enhanced there. So with that guys, I'm gonna call it the end of this tutorial. I suppose you all enjoyed, but just before I leave, let me just show you the lines of codes again. Here, the receipts. Let's add one or two more. End it first. One more here, one here, and one here. Okay, that's the receipt. The receipt is with a total. So let's take it from there. That's the total. Bring it down here. And that is the function for the tabs. Okay. Take it up. So all the same lines of code, just to ensure that there's something entered in the text boxes. And right here, those are the function to check if any of the text box is empty or not. Okay, that's that for the text box, for the checkbox. Okay, let's take it up. They're all the same. So with that guys, I'm going to call it the end of this tutorial. I suppose you enjoy it. So you all have a nice day now. Have a good look at that. So bye for now guys. And if you're interested in C#, I should be developing one of these in C#. Bye for now.